Parental discretion is advised.
What's up, guys? This week on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, we have a very special guest, Mr. Brandon Stroud. He joins us to talk about making movies. We talk about Monday Night Raw, Fandango, Triple H, and a lot of indie wrestling. Stick around.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time.
Hey guys, it's the Wrestling Mayhem Show 369. I'm Sorgatron here in the Mayhem Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to talk wrestling as we do week in and week out, ready to go. With me, as usual, is Papa Lunchbox from the deep, cold undergrounds.
It's not cold. I have plenty of heat. I have my mole men corpses to keep me warm.
Okay.
I'll have you know, and I'm glad to be back. I survived the octopus attack.
Oh.
If you remember last week, there was an octopus attack on the underwater Sophie Maslov Three Rivers Memorial underwater lair, but we survived and we persevere.
Okay, remind me to update your bio in the document. Also coming at us from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes.
I remembered.
Switching venues.
Is the Wrestle Fan.
The Wrestle Fan. I am here in the studio, or not in the studio. What am I saying? I'm drunk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's podcast night, and stuff's going crazy. Stuff's going fun, but I'm ready to talk about professional wrestling like we do every Tuesday night.
Excellent. And do you want to introduce our guest for this evening?
Yes, because we have a very, very special guest this week on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, joining us to join in the discussion and talk about a movie that is upcoming with a former WWE superstar. He is the managing editor over at withleather.uprocks.com, where he writes such funny articles as the best and worst of Monday Night Raw, as well as This Week in Horrible Looking People. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Brandon Stroud. Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be wearing a Cleveland Indians hat since I'm inside the studio in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Also, thank you for throwing some love at This Week in Horrible Looking People. I think you're the first podcast person to have ever mentioned it.
It's an amazing, amazing piece. I learned so much from it every time.
Thank you.
I learned that Travis
looks exactly like goddamn Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I learned last week that Travis of Techno Team 2000 looks like Harlem Bravado.
I wonder if that Harlem Bravado is like grandma's boyfriend.
I wonder. We'll have to decide that lineage.
Wow, guys, you stumbled on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and it's about to get mayhemy in here. You can find out more articles and episodes and contacts over at Wrestling Mayhem Show. No, not that yet. WrestlingMayhemShow.com. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blip TV, Roku, and the YouTubes. And then you can drop a line to
Good times.
There you go. Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
Good times.
There you go. There you go. Also, 412-206-WMS0, a very important number, as we'll see in a little bit. And then you can also, wow, it's doing that thing again. Drop us a line. Pick up the WMS Gold, Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold, with links and extras over on the iOS App Store and the Amazon App Store. And with that, let's start the show the only way we know how, with the fan mail.
I was going to start by singing the Good Times theme song. Not getting hustled, not getting hustled. That whole thing, it's great.
That's phenomenal.
Sorg, I would love to start the show with some fan mail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't fucking have any.
None?
Not one goddamn fan mail. What the fuck? What the fuck? No
I can read you a fan mail.
No big PPC. No fucking anybody. This is fucking bullshit.
All the regulars.
Bullshit. You know what we need? We need some new blood. We need new fucking people emailing us here on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, because apparently the people who email us normally can't fucking get off their asses or stay on their asses and fucking type a 3-sentence thing in Spanish or English. Blah, blah, blah. fuck them in their mouths and on their fingertips.
Wow, you're getting kind of hateful, though.
Wow.
Brandon Stroud, you
We
said
need some new people.
Brandon Stroud, did you say you have fan mail you can read?
Sure, I can improv some fan mail here if you like.
Okay. I kind of want to see where this goes.
Let me bring up my Hotmail account, please. Okay. OrgyFan at hotmail.com. I'm going to assume it's Orgy the band and not an orgy.
We can only hope.
OrgyFan at hotmail.com says, Dear Wrestling Mayhem Show, when do you think John Cena will turn heel? Also, do you think that The Undertaker's streak will end at WrestleMania this year? Love, Orgy Fan. And then underneath it, in parentheses, he put the band Orgy. So that clears that up. So there you go.
Thank
There's our
you.
fan mail.
I was
Thank you,
hoping he'd end the email with "Have a Blue Monday."
Get the fuck out of here, Sword. Get the fuck out of here.
What?
God damn it.
Hey, that joke had me in stitches.
No.
God damn it. WrestleFan's too young to get any of these jokes.
Yep.
Hey, WrestleFan, what do you think about Selena Gomez?
Oh yeah. I know everything about Selena Gomez. And that's
Simple
being
answers.
way down.
1, John Cena turned heel 3 years ago. We didn't notice. Number 2, no, the Undertaker streak will not die.
All right.
Well, I'm sure Orgy Fan really appreciates that.
There you go, Orgy Fan.
Number 3, Orgy Fan, you backed the wrong horse.
We do have voicemails, so let's see how those go.
Fucking dignity. I know I'm a day late and a dollar short right now. Bo Diggity doesn't give a fuck about that. Bo Diggity's behind. I'm listening to things. So, after listening to the Remember When of your favorite heel turn, or your most heartbreaking heel turn, I'm posing a question to the Mayhem Show panel.
What?
Oh god. You posed a question.
Okay.
What superstar that is a heel would you like to see as a face, or what heel would you have loved to see as a face? My personal one on this, I would love to have seen Scott Hall as an actual face. Razor Ramon was never completely a face.
He was
Razor
always the
Ramon
bad
was
guy.
Scarface. He was like never completely face. I mean, he had face moments, but he was the dude who lost the, the 1, 2, 3 kid. He was a face at the time. That was supposed to be a face squad, if I remember correctly. And he lost, and it was just like, sort of kind of like, what the fuck kind of thing. I would love Scott Hall to be a real face. If I could see him being just a funny asshole, that would be amazing. But because of all of nobody would do it right. Every heel would just be a heel, but just like WWE would want you to cheer for them. That's how they would do it. WWE would fail miserably at it. What say you, Mayhem Show panel? And Google Voice, if you cut me off, so I swear to God, I'll cut you. I'll cut you deep, bitch. Dignity. I'm tired.
He sounds like he's not recovering too well from the child rearing. So the
I think
question,
that's something you recover from.
I think he's got about 18 years to recover from that.
Heels we want to see faces.
Heels we want to be faces.
Mark Henry, end of story.
Mark Henry is a face? Well,
Yes.
according to
Mark
you, he
Henry
kind
was
of
a
is
face
already,
forever,
right?
He was the Kool-Aid man. He was terrible. He smiled a lot. He loved the fans. And he did this
That's
thing
true.
to make them cheer. Don't you remember that? Come on.
But no, like him pulling like 2 tractor trailers or whatever he did on SmackDown and everyone loving it, like that's Mark Henry. That's what he needs to be doing. And anytime he talks, it makes me smile. So
Really?
it does.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
Everybody is singing along to his theme song, so I think that's a note.
That's the first step.
Yes. What about you, LB?
In that same vein, I would love to see Sheamus as a face. I think he would be really good as a face. He could be like friendly with the kids and not a complete dick all the time.
Not sucker punching in an arm wrestling
Not
match.
sucker punching and doing shitty like bully stuff. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Brandon Stroud?
Yeah, is this current wrestlers or all time?
I think it's old time because he was talking Scott Hall.
Okay, well, first of all, Scott Hall was a face in the AWA, if you'll remember.
Didn't he also have a sweet mustache?
Yeah, when he was teaming with Kurt Hennig, it was, I'm Kurt Hennig, and Big Scott Hall. As tag team champs, we'll take on them all. Don't you remember the Wrestle Rock Rumble?
Wow.
Yes.
Come on. Okay, to answer your question, I thought it over in my head, and my first thought would be babyface Rick Rude.
Okay.
Like, I want, like, a really, like, overtly masculine, like, sexual, like, mustachioed, just greasy, misogynistic, but still, like, desperately in love with the ladies babyface. I want Rick Rude to basically be Lupin from, like, the Lupin animes, but in pro wrestling. I want him to be a dude who shows up, and he's a prick, but he's also kind of secretly great at everything. So you have to have him around. Like, Rick Rude showing up and just, like, neck breakering a dude and then swiveling his hips and ladies actually being encouraged to like him, I think would be killer.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
Wow. The
He could airbrush the faces of Make-A-Wish children on his face.
Wow. I guess I'd go with because I don't think he ever had any kind of face moment. I mean, he's pretty much always been a heel, no matter how comedy like they might have went with him. Bobby Heenan. Like, I know he kind of like on the mic he had kind of face-ish tendencies with the whole NWO thing, but I don't really count that. Because it was the big, company versus company kind of thing. But I think that would have been nice to see him just being, Bobby Heenan, face and see where that would go for a little bit. So, but
You know who would have been a really good face?
Who?
Giant Gonzalez.
Oh,
Because they could have made like a really like a furry, inappropriately furry wrestle buddy out of him, and it would have been like really tall and weird.
how about a
I
Papa
don't know,
Shango?
did you not live through Elegante? Because that was the worst.
So it would probably be. I didn't see the Elegante, but it was pretty much like Great Khali right now, right?
Yeah, imagine if Great Khali was like half as mobile and knew about half as much English and didn't understand how the basics of pro wrestling work. Like, you know how Khali he's not great at the kind of wrestling we all like, but Khali at least can get in the ring and know what he's supposed to be doing. Like, he knows, okay, now I have to loose hand brain chop the guy, and now I fall down and I lose. Like, Elegante was a dude who seriously had to lean against the turnbuckle because he was going to fall over, and he just destroyed everyone for no reason and had no idea how to wrestle. Elegante was the goddamn worst thing of all time.
Wasn't he involved in a stretcher match where he pinned someone that wasn't involved in the match?
That is correct. That involved the one-man gang and Sid Vicious.
It's amazing.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Yeah. So, no.
Looks like all
He
of
was
our...
also in a War Games, and he couldn't fit into the cage, really.
Because they had the cage so low at that point.
It looks like all our fan mailers dropped voicemails because we have yet another one. So let's see what's going on there. If I can find the button. There we go.
Hey, crew! Matt Garland, your girl buddy in the mainstream media.
All right.
Calling you from the car. Doing it Bo Diggity style.
As everybody does.
Woo! I just had a singular thought on Fandango I wanted to share with you. I miss the old girl. I liked her better. The other dancer. I get the Summer Rae thing. I know she was in NXT.
I have so much to say about this.
Whatever. She can do things that apparently non-wrestling trained girls cannot do, but I like the old girl better. There's only one thing better when you're a heel than having Paul Heyman in your corner, and that's having a girl that no one thinks you deserve in your corner. I gotta be honest, I'm feeling a little, maybe a smidge of Miss Elizabeth with her. And, well, now it's all gone. I guess we're going to get this Summer Rae instead, but I miss the old girl. I've probably said it about half a dozen times already. I'll say it again. I miss the old girl. So, just wonder what you think about that. And I'll hang up and listen. Bye.
All right, Brandon Stroud, you said you have some opinions on this one?
Oh, God. Okay. Okay, on my corner of the internet, the Fandango original dancer is the most beloved, popular person on television.
Really?
We have several names for her. Fandangal is one. Andango is one. Jandango. And we also have, we just call her Lady. Because she's beautiful and she's great at her job. And she did that thing once where she turned and winked and it was just magical and our hearts exploded. So here's the thing. I like the idea of well, actually, also to the person about that voicemail, he totally said the name wrong. It's Fandango. I've been practicing just in case I didn't say his name. But no, like, she's amazing and wonderful, and I like the idea of Johnny Curtis, Dirty Curdy, having like a variety of dance partners. I like that if he needs to do something shitty to someone, he would bring out Summer Rae because he knows that she's like a student or whatever. She's in NXT, so he can just kind of boss her around and get her to do shit. But when he just wants to like show off his cool dance moves or like a cool thing, he brings out the girl who can actually do the splits. So yeah, I love original Fandango, and I think that if she doesn't stick around, it's going to be the saddest thing. I hope that she knows how much she's loved. She's like the pro wrestling version of Boxy, where we don't really know, and we just hope she's okay. Like, that's it.
Wow. LB, do you have an opinion on the Fandangals?
I have to say that the names that you came up with for her are some of the best things I've ever heard. Fandangal and what did you say? Andango.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And Lady.
Yeah, Lady is a good one.
I'm a fan. I think it's good.
If they can name a ballet woman.
Yeah, I also like the idea that it would be like a
dancing
Lady and the Tramp situation where he's the tramp and she's the lady. I think that would be great. And then they could eat spaghetti, and it would be the best segment in the history of Raw.
I do have to give Summer Rae credit because she did at least bust out the splits last night. She's learned at least that aspect of it.
Summer Rae is garbage.
I just love all things from NXT, so I'm impartial.
Yeah, but NXT is just full of women who should be on television, and Summer Rae gets the call up. You know?
Yeah, not like Paige or something, right?
Yeah, Paige should be the dancing girl. That would be great.
No, Emma. It has to be Emma.
Why is there not Emma? Okay, hold on.
We're going to talk about NXT.
Fandangirl is a college student.
Yes.
What's that, LB?
It's an evolution.
Fandangirl is a college student, which is why she has a limited schedule.
Oh, wow.
That's true?
They actually got a dance student, didn't they?
Someone said that on the internet, so it's got to be true.
I mean, it was obvious when they brought Summer Rae out. They wouldn't say her name for the first couple weeks. Who is this? Who is on our other programming? And she looks so uncomfortable with those first splits. So uncomfortable. So, all right. We have one more, guys.
Hold on, can I do it?
Let's do it.
What is it?
Hold on, here you go. Here you go, everybody.
Woo! This is John 31645. I'm riding in the truck. I'm on the highway between Memphis and Little Rock. And I was just thinking about wrestling.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Let's listen to it.
I think he's figured out the theme. All right.
Please let this go.
There we go. Fucking diggity. Get out of my car. I don't can yell and shit. Woo!
You just so.
I have a headache. Ow. Anyways, I didn't watch much of Raw, mostly because I was watching Dolph Ziggler put on a goddamn comedy clinic. Seriously, just let the guys who are on fucking Twitter be the people they are on Twitter on the TV show. It'll be way better. Can we let Biggie Langston, instead of being big hulking Biggie Langston, be funny as fuck Biggie Langston? Can we just let that happen? Can we let, like, him and AJ actually have this, like, weird-ass mom-son relationship that they have on Twitter that they don't have on the show? Can we let AJ and Caitlyn and Biggie Langston just talk during the show? Because their tweets to each other are just hilarious. If you're not following Biggie Langston, I hate you as a person. And you need to go do that. If you're not following Dolph
He's not
Ziggler,
wrong.
who apparently decided I'm just going to live tweet this show, it was just fantastic. Like him referencing Kofi coming out saying, and Kofi, I wonder who his opponent's going to be. It could be me, or it might not be me. It's not, but what if it is? Hashtag best of 1,000 series. It was fantastic. WWE, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of the way, and let the talent be talented instead of you trying to write them into stupid scenarios. That's it, because that's all I watched from Raw. This has been Bo fucking Diggity. You're fucking welcome. And actually, I'm sorry, this is Bo F Diggity. The F is for Frankfurter. Yes, I'm talking about wieners.
There you go. I think he forgets that he has sent one in already. So yeah, we had a good discussion about that in the hangout last night. Biggie Langston, Caitlyn, who else? AJ. Just Ziggler as well. All night last night. Just having fun on Twitter. Just going back and reading through their timelines is the most entertaining thing I think we did all night. These people obviously have personalities. We saw like the Caitlyn Bateman and Johnny Curtis thing in NXT that entertained at least two of us here. What do you guys think about it? Should they let these guys loose a little bit more than they're doing instead of like having Big E being the silent whatever he is? WrestleFan?
I think so. I mean, and that's the assumption that everyone says when, they first saw Big E was, oh, this dude has no personality. He's just bland. He looks like Ahmed Johnson. But no, the dude's freaking hilarious. And I think they're giving people like, say, like AJ and Caitlyn a bit more realm to sort of do that stuff. And even Ziggler to a degree. Yeah. But I hope so. I mean, because people have their own material. They can be, spontaneous. It's just, I think they should allow that. They should nurture that, as opposed to Randy Orton asking for what his line is. Like, you can come up with stuff.
That's when things have gotten a little too stringent, when those situations happen, right?
He'll go to the cue cards if he has to.
Exactly. What do you think, Brandon Stroud?
I think that the homogenized environment that WWE is right now sort of prohibits anyone from doing anything fun or talented, because the core of talent comes from being able to make an impression. And if you make an impression, you run the risk of offending or causing like passionate opinions. And in the WWE's point of view, passionate opinions make you someone they don't want to listen to. They feel like you're only interested in being a nerd who doesn't get it and you want to live in your parents' basement and so on and so forth. Even if your passionate opinions are constructive, if you say, hey, Langston's funny, like, let's let the guys bring a little bit of themselves to the characters. Those guys are like, we run the company, we know what's best. Which is why the company's been run by, like, 3 people for the last 15 years. Forever, probably, I guess. But no, I think it would be wonderful if we could just let the young people of the WWE be young people, because you don't see any believable young people in pro wrestling. Yeah. Like, ever. But, like, having talked to wrestlers in real life, like, if you talk to Caitlyn or you talk to AJ, like, they're fantastic people. Like, they're funny, and there's a reason why they're on TV. Like, there's a reason why they've succeeded at their job where other people haven't. It's because they have something sort of special, and they can exceed. And whether they're the best at wrestling or not, they have like a spark that allows them to be on a globally traded pro wrestling company's payroll. And I think it would be wonderful if we could just sit everyone in the WWE down and say, okay, you guys are the best wrestlers in the world from our point of view. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to say? Like, do you want to be funny? Do you want to be real? Do you want to be Davey Richards and just stomp people in the face? Do you want what do you want to do? And then find a spot for all of them and make sure everyone's on every show. And if you don't want to have that happen, you just let them not be on your show. It's very simple, and I'm not sure why we can't have a little bit of humanity in our big fight here.
And there's definitely, and I definitely see, again, like, talking to wrestlers that have at least, like, had the tryouts or been there and out or something, like, it seems like a lot of them have that, like, air of, I don't think we're into the same wrestling when we go up there. And you see that with Daniel Bryan, too. Like, he realizes, like, this is not, you don't come up here to be a wrestler, you come up here to be a character. I wish it could be a little bit more serious, I think he said in some recent interviews. So, yeah, and they're a machine up there, They're like, we do the things that are going to make money, and that appeal to everybody. That's why we have a kids show. That's why we have this.
They make a lot of money.
And they make a lot of money, and they're doing good with it, so why change, hopefully, we could, like we see with NXT, we see little things happen there that we get, right? That they're on that little platform, and that's where we see, like, Big E was awesome down there, right? He's being awesome on Twitter, that's the kind of stuff that creeps up, hate to keep going back to it, but look at Zack Ryder. He was doing the things that was all the jokes that we get, and he got a following, and it got him somewhere. He's still employed, whether you like where he's at or not, whether he likes where he's at or not, he's still employed, and he probably wouldn't have been otherwise. What do you think, LB?
I think in the past, some of the best characters that WWE has had is when they let people just be themselves. Mm-hmm. Stone Cold Steve Austin, after a while, instead of playing a character, he became more and more of himself. John Cena, still wildly popular. Generally from what we know, he just kind of goes out there and is himself. Mm-hmm. So I think they should encourage that. Is there going to be failures? Sure. But there might be less failures than the dreck that they write for people. Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. There's the fan interaction portion of the show. Of course, we got the chat room running all night here at live.sorgatronmedia.com. You can join us. We start roundabout of technical issues. Start smoothing over here about 9 p.m. Eastern time. In the meantime, let's go see what's the latest from the DVD store, and we'll be right back. We'll talk a little bit about a movie here in the Mayhem Show.
Was a little kid, it was a little bit. Yeah, I stay up late, but just a little bit. In my curfew, deemed by the street light.
Hey guys, we're back, Wrestling Mayhem Show. We're here with our guest tonight, Mr. Brandon Stroud of WithLeather.com. He's also putting out a movie. He's working on it, a long-time project. Meet me there. You can check out more at meetmetheremovie.com. Now, not only are you, into the whole wrestling community and everything, but there is a wrestling angle to this movie, right? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's an unintentional wrestling angle.
All right.
There's a couple of... I love to shoehorn in wrestling references to everything that I've ever done. It's sort of like a defense mechanism. We put up a picture of our lead actress today, Lisa Friedrich, wearing Jill Thompson's Daniel Bryan Yes shirt, which not a lot of people own. It's like me and Brie Bella have one. Yeah, I know. But no, I wrote the script, and there was a preacher role, and I was like, hey, who should we cast in this preacher role? And my director at the time was like, well, Al Snow wants to get into movies. Do you want to put Al Snow in your movie? And I was like, I don't know. I kind of hate Al Snow's guts. Like, what do I do? Should I put Al Snow in the movie because he's a wrestler? Like, is that a thing I do? So we considered Al Snow, and we were sort of... We called The Undertaker, too, at one point. But he's busy.
He's busy being dead.
He's dead and being resurrected or whatever. But no, I was sitting and I was thinking, like, who is a wrestler who is really sort of internally emotional, but then weird as shit on the outside? And I was like, shit, Dustin Rhodes. Because if you've ever seen the Dusty Rhodes DVD that WWE put out, Like, Dustin is just like a powder keg of emotion for that entire thing. So he's talking about like his dad like neglecting him and stuff, and it's very powerful and it's emotional. So we were like, hey, I grew up watching Dustin Rhodes on pay-per-view wrestling the blacktop bully on the back of like a semi-truck that's like moving around. Like, yeah, like I love that guy. Let's contact him. And we contacted his agent and we sent him a copy of the script, and he fell in love with it and absolutely wanted to do it. So now Goldust is in my movie. And he's coming in next Tuesday to film his scenes. So that's pretty amazing.
Nice. And going into the actual like aspects of the movie, from what I know, it's actually based on true stories.
Yes, my lovely and beautiful girlfriend, who is, I believe, in the chat room currently, Miss Destiny Talley. She had a very bizarre childhood. She grew up in a place called Atwood, Oklahoma, where the population was 70. And she couldn't go into the woods when she was a kid because there were druid ceremonies happening in the woods, and, you know, just crazy stuff. Like, her mom cleaned up crime scenes in a town of 73 people, and, you know, discovered sacrificing slabs and people who had glued deer legs to their walls, and people who had installed drains in their floor to drain out blood and stuff. And she comes from a very bizarre, just totally just infested environment that's really pretty evil. So what I did is I took all of her scary stories from childhood, and I took all of her nightmares, and in a loving way, I turned it into a screenplay. And that's what we're making now. So yeah, almost everything in this movie is either a true story, inspired by a true story, in the real way, not in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre way, or it's, you know, very similar to something that was a true story, or it's someone who was lying to her, but we're calling it a true story anyway.
That'll work. So did you find it in any way difficult to sort of what was your process, I guess, to sort of compose this and put everything together?
Well, I don't want to bore you guys, but the short version of the story is that back in 2003, when I was a very young, very naive little boy, I published a novel called Seven Hill City. You can find it on Amazon if you'd like. It's got its own bullshit shoehorned in wrestling references. There's an entire thing in the book about the Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask. I don't know why. Nice. But I wrote it, and it was a labor of depression and love, and I was just down in the dumps for 2 years after I wrote it, because I took all of my guts and my heart and I put it all into this book, and I optioned a screenplay. And at one point, it was going to have a big budget with like a big studio, and it was a big deal. And you know, eventually they were like, hey, rewrite this script to fit these script notes. And then that happened 33 times. So I wrote 33 drafts of this one script, and then my option ran out. And it got re-optioned, and then that one kind of wasn't going anywhere. So in December of this year, I was like, hey, I'm just going to write a garbage throwaway horror movie. And we're just going to make it. We're going to make it with our friends, and we're just going to take our video camera outside and just film ourselves acting stupid. And I'm going to have a movie, because my dream as a kid who grew up as the son of a woman who ran a video store and who has seen everything ever, I wanted to make a movie. And about 15 pages into it, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I could actually try and make this as good as possible. So I ended up writing it in just a couple of weeks. And everyone who's read the script has really enjoyed it, and we've managed to get a lot of talented people involved in it. So hopefully that'll translate. And yeah, so basically it was by accident. I was just like, hey, I need some good material, and my girlfriend happens to have the scariest life ever. So let's turn that into a thing. So
it sounds like I listened to a lot of Kevin Smith kind of podcasts and everything, and it sounds like that whole mentality went behind Clerks. Is like, well, I'm a dude, I can make something like this, right? Right. So and hopefully it spins out into something really. I mean, already you got Dustin Rhodes involved, so I mean that's already a uptick, yeah, right? So
yeah, and Jill Thompson came in for our first weekend of shooting. And if you guys don't know Jill, she's an amazing comic book artist, and she's responsible for a lot of WWE stuff. She drew CM Punk's latest T-shirt, and she does all of Daniel Bryan's gear. She does gear for a lot of guys, and you know, she's doing the art for our poster. And loved the script so much that she flew in from Chicago and played a part. So yeah, it's crazy the people who want to help us out.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's very, very humbling. It's very cool.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, you're working production wise. You're working with Greenlist Studios out of Austin, Texas. You were actually you had a couple roles in one of their recent films, Summer League.
I did indeed. Yeah, I had 3 roles in Summer League, technically.
I believe at one point you were in a duck costume.
That's true. For the last 15-ish minutes of the movie, I'm a duck mascot. At one point, I'm a player on a heel softball team who is made up of kickball-playing hipsters who want to prove that they're better than the softball players at softball. And then later, I'm the host of a pub trivia quiz where I get to drop a Mantar reference. So
nice. And always inserting those wrestling references. I love it. So how's it like working with those guys at Greenlist?
Oh, they're amazing. Lex Librand, who's our director, he's a really cool guy. He's got like a weird thing going on where he can take very little money in a very, very, I don't want to say humble again, but a very sort of not movie theater, not the kind of camera you would expect someone to film a movie with, and he can point it, and then it's gorgeous. Like, it's amazing that this guy can do this, and I assume that in 10 years he'll be, making Iron Fist movies or whatever the hell Marvel's doing at this point. But for right now, he just is a guy who lives in Austin, and he films gorgeous shit. And it's really great to write a script and to have a guy who has like a really brilliant like visual vision to just sort of make it happen and make it come alive. And one of the most shocking things that I've had to go through so far, since I've never actually gotten to the making the movie part of making a movie, is seeing scenes that I've written sort of being alive, like they actually exist now. Like we filmed for 2 days and we filmed 6 or 7 scenes, and they exist now. Like I can reference pictures of them on the internet and stuff, and it's like, yeah, they're wonderful. Summer League was really fun. We got to play kickball and softball and hang out a lot in Austin, so that was fun. His wife Kelly, who wrote Summer League, she's wonderful. She's making a movie right now called Wind and Rain, which is hopefully going to be our sister movie. We can show it at double features or something.
Nice.
But yeah, they're great. Anything they make, you guys should definitely check out. I think it's greenliststudios.com or .net or something. I'm not sure what their URL is, but
one of those.
greenliststudios.edu/index.html.
That'll do it. That'll send you right to them. So you mentioned that you guys just got done with your first couple days of production this past weekend. Overall, just how do you think it went? Were there any trials and tribulations that come with filming a movie like this? What do you think coming out of this weekend?
I can't stop thinking about it. I'm sort of obsessed with it now. I feel like I should be making movies every day. Like, that's what my day should be. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things that have happened already. We went to our filming location about 45 minutes south of Austin. We got a rental property. It's just a house on someone's land that's subbing in for, rural Oklahoma. And they didn't tell us that they also raised peacocks. So there were like 15 peacocks just roaming around at all times. So whenever we would film something, there would just be in the background and everything. So that was weird. We had a scene with a goat. We rented a goat.
What?
And we had to have a non-acting goat act for us because we don't have the money to buy an acting goat. So that was weird.
It's those SAG fees, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, right? Just sort of being there all day and seeing how stuff gets put together. And I watched Lex film scenes because I'm unofficially helping out in any way I can. So I worked the boom mic for a lot of the scenes, and I'm watching them and I'm like, yeah, here's a normal thing that doesn't look like a movie. And then I look at what he shot and it's really fantastic. So yeah, it went really well, and the hiccups were strange, but we got some really creepy background noises. We watched.
If you hear some peacocks,
Yeah, we found a dead animal just randomly. It looked like the chupacabra. We just found the skeleton of a dead animal randomly. We watched a team of geese fight a team of, I guess, different ducks. I don't know much about ducks. But we watched there were lots of animals and lots of weird death and brutality and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's been a fun weekend. Next weekend we are filming in a graveyard. We're filming some stuff then, and then on Tuesday we get to take gold dust into a church and paint up a lot of people like dead people. So it'll be fun.
Awesome. All right, if people want to follow it, where can they find you online again?
MeetMeThereMovie.com is going to be our hub. That is that's where we're going to be operating from. It's greenlist.com is Greenlist Studios page. That's for information about, what we're doing and Wind and Rain and Summer League and that kind of thing. So definitely check them out. And of course we've got a Facebook. Just search for Meet Me There Movie and you should be able to find it. Someone made a short film called Meet Me There last year apparently. So don't friend that one. We hate them. I don't know.
So the one that looks like this.
Yeah, the one that looks like that is the one that you should friend. And yeah, and of course I'll be updating about it on Twitter. So if you go to I always want to do this. If you go to my Twitter handle, I never got to do that. It's so much fun.
Nice.
But no, I'll be updating about it for sure. I'm going to be blogging pretty extensively about it on the movie site. So yeah, definitely keep up with that. We're trying to get into we're trying to get into Fantastic Fest in Austin sometime September, October. So fingers crossed.
Awesome. Go check it out. Meet me there on the internets. And with that, let's go from indie movie making. Let's go to indie wrestling with the Indie Minute.
Oh my God. It's Indie Minute time.
I was unprepared for the Indie Minute.
Yeah, let's do this. So the first thing we should talk about here on the Indie Minute concerning the people in the Pittsburgh area is that Ring of Honor was in Pittsburgh this weekend and Sorg was there.
I was there.
Yeah,
I took the lady to it. She was like, and I've been subjecting my wife to a lot of wrestling lately. Like, not only does she have to work the DVD table at all the shows, not only do I have to send her on shows by herself to supervise when I can't make it. She also went to the TNA hour-and-a-half drive away taping out in Indiana, PA,
where they had $5 Mountain Dews.
And I'm like, hey, I really want to go to this. You went to the one before. You seem to have fun. This is not a TV taping, and it won't be as cold. So, maybe you probably have a better time at this one. And she's like, yeah, okay. And she was pretty readily into it. This was one of those kind of normal Ring of Honor kind of spot shows kind of things. Like, I'm sure it will be. It sounds like it's going to be on DVD or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. It reminded me of all the reasons that I went to Ring of Honor in the first place. I think it was a Final Battle show up in New York. Wrestle fan?
Yes.
I can report, I think all of Pittsburgh now has an ACH boner like you.
That's good to know. That's good. I'm glad people are spreading the word.
Yes, and spreading the boners. His match with Elgin was definitely the match of the night. Really good stuff. They started with a tag team match with American Wolves and what was that?
QT Marshall and R.D. Evans. What do you think of R.D. Evans?
That's the Archibald Peck guy, right?
Alleged. He looks very similar to Archibald Peck.
Looks very similar. Like, are we saying he looks very similar, or
yes.
or okay? I was pretty sure that was the thing. But no, it was fun. It was a fun match. It was really kind of intense for the first match, and it was pretty good all night. So I guess big news from the night was Jay Briscoe coming out and doing the apology beforehand. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know if they're going to throw it on a TV show or something, because all they were only recording like the main camera, and they didn't even have all the lights down or anything like that. It's on YouTube though. So he had a pretty good anti-Jay Briscoe section, I noticed, during the last match that he was involved in.
He'll have another one when they come to San Antonio.
I'm sure. I'm wondering if this will get bigger.
Which is so upsetting, because he's wrestling Davey Richards, and I'm like, okay, then I'll cheer for Jay Briscoe, and then this happens.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that chanting. They had rainbow streamers to throw at him. So I mean, it was a small section. production. It was like maybe like 6 people, but they were very vocal. And I don't know if they picked up a couple friends along the way as well. I enjoyed the Jay Marry Me sign from a guy, and there's a couple other ones out there.
Just to clarify, it's from a guy.
From a guy.
Can we start a Bryan Danielson style? You're gonna get your fucking headshot in chant for him.
It'll probably only get worse from here.
Only if you preach your morals.
Yeah. It was just it was not the best apology.
Oh man, guys, look! I'm sorry, guys. Look, hey, you know, I just
sometimes I get cut
my
up.
children. We all love children. Children are our future, and of course, I want to shoot my body. It's just my wrestling character to say that I would fucking shoot someone who told my kids that gay marriage was okay.
Hey guys, by the way,
it's totally a Briscoe Brothers thing that happens.
By the way, redneck kung fu and shooting gay people in the head is apparently synonymous.
Like if Mark Briscoe had come out and been like, hey, y'all, if you tell my kids that gay marriage is okay, I might have been like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Jay Briscoe's character
I don't
guns or children.
I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree with people. It's like, oh, well, it's his character. He's a redneck. And I have to remind people, I'm like, the Godwins were never like, oh, these gay people.
Right, you never have to be that. There is no reason for commentary about gay marriage on a wrestling show unless we are marrying Billy and Chuck and we are in Scooby-Doo disguise and about to spring 3-minute warning.
Oh man, yes, perfect. So in safer stuff, so yeah, no, that's fun. Yeah, that's all I can say about that right now. But it pains me because I fall out of Ring of Honor so many times. Like I fell out of it the last few months, but I've had so much WWE to watch leading up to WrestleMania, so it's just hard to catch up. Even my wife said I would watch ROH TV. I'm like, yeah, but I guess it would be, if it was easier to watch, right? It's like, yeah, basically, because it's on 5 p.m. on Saturday and 11 p.m. on Sunday, so she's not going to watch that. So other than that, and she doesn't watch like Raw or anything like that. She's not interested in it at all, partially because of all the wrestling I subject her to. So, but she says that keeps her interest with it. Oh, the other cool thing, I received a message from earlier in the day from an old friend from the old rap scene I used to be involved in, one of the poetically gifted honkies, shout outs, said, hey, are there any tickets left tonight? I was like, oh yeah, there should be. Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to go get some general mission, whatever. Plus, like, God, that place is huge, right? They'll fit people. They'll take anybody that'll walk out, I'm sure. And it ends up like I'm sitting there, and I go sit down because Joe Dombrowski was there, so I was talking with him for a little bit. Went to about next to my wife, and then one of the security guys knew me, yelled out my name, and then like. Guy sitting next to my wife says, "Oh, it is you," and there he was, happened to be sitting right below. And his kids apparently, like, he's taking them to Raw and stuff. They loved it. And I noticed after intermission, both his kids were wearing ROH hats, so completely sold on it. And I think I talked him into coming to some other local indie shows as well. So yeah, it's really cool because I think there is a lot of that, like, kind of new people going. We took 2 new people that caught it on TV, and now they're really into that kind of style of wrestling stuff too. So I like seeing that kind of like reach out, a bit. So what else is going on, WrestleFan?
Awesome. Other stuff going on in the independent wrestling scene, more specifically in the Austin, Texas area. This weekend is the big Anarchy Championship Wrestling Nothing Is As Real As a Dream prom event.
I love this.
Yes, I actually attended my first ever ACW prom last year, and it was an amazing time. A lot of really great stuff, and this one should be the same.
Seriously.
The main event will be for the Anarchy Heavyweight title. Evangelistico of the Submission Squad defending against the American Joshi champion Jessica James, as well as tons of other stuff. There will be Matthew Palmer versus Summers for the World Hardcore title. ACH makes his return to Anarchy, and he will face an opponent of his choosing. So this should be really interesting stuff there. So if you're,
I really hope his opponent is Little Tony.
Oh God, we can only hope. That'll be a classic. It'll be amazing.
It would be really good.
So yeah, if you're in the Austin, Texas area, come down to Mohawks 912 Red River. Come see me. Come see Brandon Stroud. There will be tons of people there in the Mohawks checking out some Anarchy Championship Wrestling. And if you want tickets for that, you can go to anarchychampionshipwrestling.com. And the next thing, and the final thing that I want to talk about here on the Indie Minute, if you are in the Chicago area, our good friends at Chikara Pro Wrestling, they have a huge week event coming up on the 18th. The return of the Tag World Grand Prix. The Tag World Grand Prix was sort of a precursor to the King of Trios tournament that's been really famous for them. They had, except of course this time it's for tag teams, and they are doing an afternoon and an evening card for that event in Chicago, featuring a 16-team tournament. And it should be a really, really awesome time. A lot of great teams from Chikara, a lot of teams are bringing in. There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff. Also on the second card for that show, Eddie Kingston defends the Grand Championship against Archibald Peck. And that should be a really, really awesome show. So if you're in the Chicago area, go check them out. If you can't make it to the Chicago area, you should check them out on Smart Market Video and SMVOD, Smart Market Video on Demand, and go support them because Chikara is doing pretty amazing stuff right now. So I encourage you to definitely go check them out. ChikaraPro.com. And that, my friends, is the Indie Minute for this week.
Thanks, WrestleFan. And with that, we're going to go to the break, go see what's going on in Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold. Go buy the app and get that a little bit extra content. And also check out what's going on, the latest interview talking about their Montreal theory. We got Johnny Gargano again from WrestleCon coming up after that. And we'll be right back with Remember When. That's right. That's right.
Obvious green bean.
Mr. Brandon Stroud, if you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be? That's a whole other conversation. We'll back on that in a
globally traded company that employs a team of writers. Yes, it can. That's their job. They should be able to do that. The Daily Show puts on, what, 5 good shows a week.
Are you cool?
This week on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, we interview Mr. Brandon Stroud. Jesus Christ, we hope you like indie wrestling.
On location in Secaucus, New Jersey at WrestleCon, we're getting theories throughout this entire convention. What are their thoughts on the Montreal Screwjob? We're investigating for MontrealTheory.com. I am joined here by the Bee's Knees, the Cat's Pajamas, the whole shebang, somebody I've known far, far too long. Age 18, 19?
Earlier than that, probably like 17.
My God, that's not even legal in Ohio.
Not.
Okay, we've just completely blown your cover. I apologize for that.
Go.
But we are talking about the Montreal Theory with Johnny Gargano, current Dragon Gate USA champion. Give me the whole thing.
Open the Freedom Gate champion.
Now, you've been there for a long time, and you've been a featured player. You've been the main franchise star of that company.
Yeah.
I won't call you the franchise player, but I would like to know, how many gates have you opened in that company?
About 12. The big number is like 15. I'm reaching for that number.
Is there like a
12 right now?
Is there a prize, like when you play Let's Make a Deal and Caramel opens the curtain and there's like a llama there? Is there like a prize when you open the gate?
The dragon actually comes out. A real life dragon. I have like 12 at my house right now.
So you don't slay them?
No, I keep them. They're my friends. I open the gate to our friendship, basically. The dragon's friendship.
I always thought they were cats. I don't know. But we're talking about the Montreal Theory, Montreal Screwjob, November 1997. Could Brett have been in on it? There's been a lot of different theories. Some people think we're onto something big. Some people think we're full of crap. I know you felt both ways about me over our relationship. So do you have a theory about what happened in Montreal?
Do I have a theory? I've been in the wrestling business long enough. I've been in the wrestling business since I was 8 years old, basically. So I've seen basically everything. And what I've learned in the wrestling business is never believe anything you're told. Never believe anything that's put in front of you, because you can never tell what's real and what's not real. That's the beauty of our business, really, is you can present something and it cannot be real, or you can present something and it could be real. I mean, you never know what can happen. The wrestling business is a very different animal. And when it comes to Montreal, I'm sure there's going to be tons of theories, and this guy's going to think that, and this guy's going to think that, and I don't know if we're ever going to truly know the answer to that question.
But we can get a lot closer by checking out the Montreal Theory, MontrealTheory.com. Order it now, digital download or DVD. Johnny Gargano has his copy.
I do, right
He
here.
personally endorses it. You can have yours too. What's your theory? Let us know. Join us on Facebook. Join us on .com. We'll find out.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks, Johnny Gargano, for talking with us at WrestleCon about the Montreal Theory. Go check it out. Still flying off the shelves, well, digitally at least, over at MontrealTheory.com if you want to go check that out. Now is a segment that we do every week where we look back on the world of wrestling and our memories with the Remember When? This week's theme music for Remember When brought to you by Papa Lunchbox. For all your...
I listened to the audio version last week, and I realized for our audio listeners, that's just dead silence.
Yes, it
with
is.
the tiny little sword clicking in the background. So I'm going to fill that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're thinking. I mean, that is still the massive people that listen to this, our listeners. So we should really think of them. Just like I've been thinking about how my promos for the DVDs are just music with nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You just got random basic sickness songs. Not that that's bad. So yeah, this week, like I said, this can be a best memory, the worst memory. I can think of a few bad ones right off the top of my head, but probably the most memorable and one I probably wore out was a fine movie involving one Christopher Lloyd and girl I can't remember that was in the Popeye movie, and of course Hulk Hogan, Suburban Commando.
Jesus Christ, did you just reference the Popeye movie?
The Popeye movie. I remember that was the
Holy
big thing, because that was when you saw the trailer, as I did, because it was New Line Cinema. So I was watching a lot of Ninja Turtle movies and Surf Ninjas, and so like the trailers were all over all the rest of the. Anyways, you get the idea. But
I'm more upset that you didn't remember Shelley Duvall's name. Come on, she was in The Shining, man.
The Shining. I feel it's been a while, but I mean it was the next one after No Holds Barred. I went to the theater to see No Holds Barred. I was definitely way too young to really like No Holds Barred. That was the biggest, I think, miss on demographics for putting Hulk Hogan in a movie at the time. Especially, I mean, God, he was a kid's character, you know, at the moment to put him in that movie. But I thought Suburban Commando was like the right thing, and at the time, other than the Ninja Turtles movie, the best thing ever made. So, and look at the guys. It has Michael Ironside in it as the bad guy. It had some, in my child's mind, because I haven't watched this movie in forever, some tremendous special effects for the alien at the end. It has Undertaker and Paul Roma as the alien bounty hunters, and in one of the Undertaker's few speaking roles early in his career. It's a pretty good movie, I think. Again, in my child's mind's eye that watched this over and over again. So, I mean, that's one that comes to mind. I know we got plenty of horrible WCW things and shows in WWE studios. So, what about, what does your child mind still think about WrestleFan?
Well, I still have a child mind, so that kind of goes.
Yes,
with
that's
it.
what I was subtly alluding to.
I'm sort of going off of the Remember When thing. This isn't a movie I've necessarily seen, but it's one I found out about that I really need to check out. For those that don't see my blog, I did a post about No Way Out 2004 recently.
Yes.
And one of the big factors in that is Goldberg. Goldberg is a big factor in that show. And he was wearing a T-shirt at that event with the words Santa's Sleigh on the back. And I was like, oh, what is Santa's Sleigh? What is this? Apparently, it's a 2005 comedy horror movie where Bill Goldberg plays Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm. And
he is a murdering Santa Claus. I pulled up the IMDb description for this movie, which it has a 5.2 out of 10, by the way. Santa Claus is actually a demon who lost a bet with an angel, so he becomes the giver of toys and happiness. But when the bet is off, he returns to his evil ways. And I need to see this movie some way or another.
You know, it was on Netflix for the longest time, and I just could not bring myself to watch it.
Fran Drescher is apparently in this.
Oh, I'm sold.
I need to figure out some way to view this, and because my God, Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus, it's in a role you will not believe.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to be doing that. Lunchbox?
I would say my favorite, my actual favorite wrestling movie is The Wrestler. I really enjoyed that with Mickey Rourke as Randy the Ram, and there was all kinds of independent wrestlers. Necro Butcher makes an appearance, and lots of others that I can't think of right now.
Friend of the show, Larry Sweeney?
Friend of the show, Larry Sweeney, yeah.
Randy Orton's punching bag Antonio Cesaro.
He does.
Mm-hmm. And as far as silly movies go, really anything with Hulk Hogan. Anything. If Hulk Hogan was in it, it's ridiculous, and I enjoyed it on some level.
Three Ninjas? Three Ninjas movie with him?
Was he in one of those Three Ninjas?
Yeah, he was in
movies?
one of them. And they gave him like a hairpiece and everything. It was pretty bad.
Holy Mr. Brandon Stroud, how about you?
High Noon at Mega Mountain. That's what that one's called.
Oh, man.
I tell you, I've seen everything. My personal favorite wrestling movie memory, if I'm remembering when correctly, is a movie called Body Slam that was released in 1987. Personal favorite of mine. It stars Dirk Benedict, who you may remember best as Face Man from the A-Team. He stars alongside Tanya Roberts, who you may remember as the neighbor wife on that 70s show. Dirk Benedict stars as a down on his luck huckster music guy who finds himself conned into being a pro wrestling manager.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Rowdy Roddy Piper as Quick Rick. It stars the Tonga Kid. It stars, let's see, who else does it star? It stars John Aston, who you may remember as Gomez Adams, just randomly. It also features really incredible cameos by Ric Flair, Freddie Blassie, Bruno Sammartino. Like, really cool guys are in this movie. There's also a really awesome casting choice. To play the role of bad guy manager Captain Lou Morano, they cast, wait for it, Captain Lou Albano.
Oh, boy.
So that works out really well. It's a really, really bad, sort of dated, hilarious movie. I watched it on DVD recently. I bought it from Amazon because I'm an asshole with too much money, I guess. And I was really shocked by how offensive it was. There's lots of like anti-Asian jokes in the movie for some reason. And at one point, a guy in the crowd at a wrestling show, and pardon my use of this because I don't like to use it, but the gentleman just has a sign in the crowd that says "faggot."
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, God, is that what wrestling crowds used to be? And then I remembered Jay Briscoe, and I was like, oh, they're still like that. So, yeah, Body Slam. Check it out, guys, for offensive signs and really cool mid-'80s Ric Flair cameos.
In certain hills in Pennsylvania and West Virginia, no, the wrestling crowds are definitely like that. There was what was the one? There was. I think we had.
I know it if you tell me.
No. You probably would. No, this was a local show that nobody ever heard of. But I remember there was some fairly offensive things being said to. I don't know if it was a gay character or a black character in the ring.
One of the two.
But either way, I feared for him.
A gay black character.
It was probably a gay black character, and I definitely feared for his safety. So that was a thing. Not too far away.
Just watch
I live in
Jack
South
Gypsy
Texas.
Joe match if you want a really horrible wrestling crowd yelling things they shouldn't yell.
Exactly. From the chat, we had some shouts from Riz for Big Show as Captain Insano and Waterboy.
Yes.
And Big Show was a Giant Santa and Jingle All the Way. This is all Big Show comments now.
He was also Knucklehead in the feature film Knucklehead.
And Mad Wix says clearly Kevin Nash as fucking Super Shredder is the winner. Oh no! It just dawned on me. I I know. Well, if this happens, I might. I might have an opportunity to meet Kevin Nash this summer, and I do have that VHS signed by Vanilla Ice of Ninja Turtles 2.
Make it happen, brother.
I think I have to. I don't want to be that guy, but I think I have to in this case. Right?
You can't be the first guy that's done
Can you sign this for my brother? Hey, Vanilla Ice was real cool about it. There's people that bought like just Ninja Turtle anything to have him sign. I at least brought the damn movie he was in.
That is shoot the best thing Vanilla Ice ever did.
Yes.
Besides Madonna.
Although we had a pretty rocking gathering concert at the Gathering of the Juggalos. So, anyways, with that, guys, let's go to Mad Mike's Minute of Mayhem, and we'll be back with a little bit of roundtable.
Mayhem, it's Mad Mike once again with your Minute of Mayhem. Okay, so TNA last week. Abyss came back, which is awesome because I kind of missed Abyss. I mean, who doesn't love Abyss? However, the only problem is if this doesn't lead to some sort of tag match, Abyss and Joseph Park versus the Dudleys, or Abyss versus Bully Ray for the world title at Slammiversary, neither of those things will happen because they're good, and Sting will just keep talking about why new talent isn't getting pushed when he's the one taking the title shots. Anyway, Raw was the go-home show for Extreme Rules. I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. It sucks that Ziggler got injured. It sucks. It's good they didn't take the title from him, but it sucks that he got injured because that ladder match was kind of the cream of the crop for me with regards to that card. But here we go for the At Mike 3 stars of the week. Third star is for Mark Henry, because that what he do. The strap match is going to be so much fun with Sheamus's pasty white skin and Mark Henry as a big black man swinging a strap. I mean, they should just call this the South will Rise Again match. Anyway, number 2 goes to Y2J Chris Jericho. Not only for the segment with Fandango at the beginning of the show, Dance Off. That was actually really good. I kind of liked the way, and I gotta say, they got me. They got me with the Summer Rae thing. I thought, oh no, Summer's gonna become a face. She's gonna come out with Jericho because they danced before and all yada yada yada. But they didn't. And she's a heel, and she's a heel manager, and that's gonna be fun. And number 1 star, Dolph Ziggler. Now you're probably asking yourself, how is Dolph Ziggler number 1 star if he wasn't even on Raw? Go back and look at his live tweets. Dolph Ziggler was more entertaining than the entire 3 hours of Raw put together. And that's the truth. Hashtag heel Ziggler. And, yeah, I think that's it for the minute. Peace, bitches.
All right, thanks, Mad Mike, for that Minute of Mayhem, which I think has aroused some disagreement from Mr. Brandon Stroud.
Well, wait, hold on. Sorry. Before we do that, we do have to quickly do comments from the unwashed masses.
Do we have to?
Do we have to? Because they're Bobby sent them in.
Okay, go ahead and do it, man.
Okay, so these are Bobby FJ10 segment comments from the unwashed masses. These are comments that were put on various posts in the Facebook page for WWE. So let's start it off. What's that? I can't understand the idea of WWE to put both men in such a boring match. WWE want to retain the cheater, Dolph, and the D-O is capitalized, Ziggler with 1G, as the champion. But he don't deserve that title. They should have stiped him. He don't. They should have stiped him from the title and give it back to the man who deserves that, Alberto Del Rio.
Burrow.
I believe that means a donkey.
The Burrow Del Rio.
Burrow Del Rio.
The second one, Punk always looked old, and there is 7 question marks, smiley face, hugs. Okay.
That's true. He does always look old.
And the final one, the Shield always cheat. The only way to stop them from
They
cheating
never
is to
cheat.
go to go one-on-one in a steel cage. That's the pretty trick to win the Shield, and without this, the Shield wins and remained the undefeated. As friend, if you are wrestling fans, we talk about wrestling. We love wrestling.
That's true.
shit.
Also,
I don't feel so bad for adding an extra "the" to my tweet to Ziggler last night. So, with that, thank you for raising all of our self-esteem. So
I really do love wrestling.
let's go back to the discussion at hand, Mr. Brandon Stroud. What did you disagree with the Mad One about?
Oh no! After listening to those people, I mean, Mad Mike's basically like Gordon Soley. So I don't want to talk too much shit about him now. That Fandango Jericho dance segment was not good. It was not good. I'm sorry. I love Johnny Curtis. I love Dirty Curdy. And
Use
I
his
think
slave
Jericho
name.
can be one of the best people on the show, but holy shit. It was a bait and switch 20-minute dance segment where nobody danced, and they put a parquet floor in the ring that ended up being used as like a segmented weapon for no reason. That segment could have been Fandango coming out and then playing cheesy elevator music for 1 second and him just bashing Jericho in the face with a microphone, and they would have done it all. Like, oh, Summer Rae is a heel manager. That's great. It's like, no, not really. She's a shitty wrestler from NXT, and she's a nice-looking girl. But there are lots of nice-looking girls. Put one nice-looking girl on the show who can contribute, like Lady, perhaps.
Yeah, being Lady.
Lady,
Seriously,
still
fuck Summer Rae. Bring back the good one.
I did like that you noted in this week's column about how they had no dancing in that entire segment except for Fandango's actual entrance where he dances to the ring.
It's a new way to watch television. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's talk about that for a second. The new way to watch television, which is very confusing and interrupting.
It's the WWE app.
Yeah.
The WWE app is a new way to watch television. Did you guys get that?
Oh, I mean, there was a little bit of, okay, we're going to actually give Matt Stryker something to do instead of reading tweets off the internet with Real and Regal, which is hilarious, by the way, or recapping what just happened because we didn't line up the guy that we thought we had for this segment and we have to go live now in front of the screen, that they would not have something on a commercial break and then come into a commercial during a match. I'm sorry, not a commercial, an interview during a match. I forgot who said it last night in the Hangout, WrestleFan, if you can help me remember. But they said that basically what's happening is, remember back when like SmackDown would still does this from time to time, I think, where they pop up that little spot interview involved with somebody in the ring, like in the corner.
Yeah, picture in picture.
Yeah, basically the app is doing that now as your picture-in-picture. I thought, for somebody who's done pretty decent with their social media efforts, I thought the pushing on the app was very ham-handed last night and just didn't make sense and didn't work.
Yeah, and they went to extra commercial breaks just so that you would feel like you had to get the app to watch the show.
Yeah.
Like, if you want me to watch the show on the internet, broadcast it on fucking WWERaw.com, like, and I'll watch it on the internet. But if you have a TV show, guess what, guys? Your TV show is more important than your fucking app.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to use the WWE app in 5 years. Nobody.
And I always
it's not going to be a thing.
And I always
TV
wondered,
will still be here.
I always wonder what that does to the advertisers at that point. Not being an expert in TV, advertising crap. But like,
don't watch our commercials.
Yeah. Hey, don't watch the people paying for this show. Go check out our app and watch something that actually you may want to watch.
You like Popeye's chicken? I do. I made chicken strips. There you go. I just did every commercial.
That's an amazing Popeye's woman impression.
Wow. You got a large Domino's pizza for only $7.99. There you go. There's the other one. That was a really good Popeyes lady. That's kind of scary, actually. But
yeah, so quickly Extreme Rules is going to be like, yeah, I'm really into this show too.
Love that wrestling from Popeyes.
Sponsored by Popeyes. No,
Yeah, Lady
I'm
Lunchbox
not.
was like, "Are we watching the pay-per-view?" And I'm like, why would we?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "What's the craziest match they're gonna have on?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess a ladder match. That seems. Is that crazy enough for you?
Is that extreme?
Same
Is
stipulation they
count
always
as
have.
extreme enough?"
No, and it's I'm okay with not seeing Triple H be a badass in a cage. Like I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
could not
nobody
give two shits anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, who is that appealing to?
UFC people, I think.
No,
Those
it's not.
plebeians
No,
in the
it's
crowd
fucking
who were
not.
chanting Triple H at the end of that segment. People
Yeah.
love that bullshit. I just don't understand it.
It's them and the same people that haven't watched wrestling for 10 years and are completely watching now that The Rock was back. Now they're
They love wrestling.
now they're not watching anymore because Rock left and he's going to go do Fast 6 or G.I. Joe 3 and all that shit. So they're going to go watch that instead. But still, I got the buys for 3 months, right? And look at the pay-per-view numbers. It looks like it worked, you know. But other than that, and the same with Triple H, you know, Triple H was the guy, you know. Some people are, you know, that was the guy that they followed for 10 years, and he disappeared.
No, when was he the guy? No one ever
He was
followed
never the
Triple
guy.
H for 10 years.
I think-
they followed
no.
The Undertaker and The Rock.
Triple H
Nobody
tore through the Attitude Era with an iron
See Triple
fist.
H.
But he didn't.
I've actually been watching some old Attitude Era Raws where Triple H was champion.
Yeah.
Like the first time. God, he was bad. Like he was stumbling over lines. Like he was clearly just like coming. Like it was not good. It was not good whatsoever. Like yeah, I liked when I first got into wrestling. Yes, my age is showing. When he was feuding with Shawn Michaels over the whole feud up to SummerSlam, like I liked that Triple H. Like I thought it kept my interest. Like I thought it was interesting, but like, God, like. I don't know, guys.
And that was the pinnacle of it. That was him on top for several years. He was kind of the only guy while guys like Cena were kind of coming up. I remember the horrible year of wrestling it was when he was handed a world championship and got to defend it from the wonderful likes of Goldberg and Scott Steiner. You know, I mean
When he wrestled against Booker T and Chris Benoit and all that shit, basically when they would give him the first half hour of Raw to talk.
Yeah.
Week in and week out.
Yeah, and some people,
Those
I
aren't
mean,
happy times.
he's what people thought about for the longest time because he was the guy that was in everybody's face for the longest time. And
now Benoit's dead.
And there you go.
Thanks, Triple H.
Thanks, Triple H. Thanks a lot. I'll do sledgehammer shots.
Triple H ain't shit if he never defended against Al Dandy.
There you go. Who the hell are you to doubt El Dandy? Come on. Put the correct tone in your voice when you read that.
Who are you, Sorg, to not read that correctly?
Mad Mike hopes that Triple H does exactly what he did to Brock at the pay-per-view when Brock wins and he just walks away laughing. So
that would be amazing. Yeah, I
That'll
just don't
set up another damn Triple H match where he gets his win and gets cheered for being a hero.
Yeah.
or when he loses and we're supposed to cheer him away.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see him. I just think he definitely wasn't. He was definitely overshadowed by the two other main events on WrestleMania. I think people were just kind of over. They did weird stuff with the Brock Lesnar thing too, which I think just has thrown a lot of people off. You know, the whole
You mean he was overshadowed by the good wrestling on the show?
Yeah. There's that too. But I don't know. It just felt like I don't know.
I think Brandon, I think it was in this week's column. You brought up a good point of how like Brock's been back and he's lost 2 out of 3 matches.
Yeah, that's it.
He has. And what's funny is that Triple H is on TV saying, "Hey Brock, listen, if you lose this match, no one's going to believe that you're tough anymore." And it's like, guess what? That's the fucking truth. That's not a story. That's John Cena being like, "Hey Alberto Del Rio, you don't really own these cars, do you?" It's like, no, you prick. It's a TV show. John Goodman doesn't go on fucking Roseanne and be like, "Hey, Roseanne, you gained a lot of weight. Thank goodness I'm not really married to you." It's like, this is the dude in charge of the company. This is the dude whose job it is to like control the quality of Raw, to save the future of pro wrestling on like a mainstream level. And he is on TV saying, "Hey, God, we paid millions of dollars for." Like, guess what? You're going to lose to me because I'm more important than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same horseshit that we've hated him for on the internet for a decade, and it became so passé to say I hate Triple H that if you say anything bad about him now, you're an internet guy. And it's bullshit. He's terrible. He is counterproductive. That's the number one thing about Triple H that people need to know, is that he's counterproductive. Whether you like his wrestling or not, whether you like his character or not, whether you like his bullshit catchphrases or his dick jokes or his weird like friends in jeans and no shirts, it's fine. But he is counterproductive. He does not contribute positively to the wrestling industry whatsoever. If he does shit backstage, that's cool. But Triple H, the character as presented on television, is a total waste of fucking time.
I don't know. I think him kicking Wade Barrett in the dick was super, super productive and very important to the show.
Yeah, look how great Wade Barrett's been doing since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, he wasn't doing too great before then.
Or ever.
Okay, over there.
Hiccups. I'm sorry to the listeners.
Lunchbox is getting the late night hiccups, so we better wrap it up. So
I've been drinking since we started. I got drinking hiccups.
That explains so much. So, guys, what did you learn from wrestling this week? WrestleFan and chat room pitching as well.
I learned from wrestling this week. I do have to apologize to Riz for something.
Uh-oh.
I get the Great Khali now.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It was the pants,
him on SmackDown in his Rey Mysterio mask in disguise.
Oh, I need to see this.
Going Boudica Boudica 619, and him taking off the mask and telling in Italian, "It's me, baby." Like, I want him to have a sitcom so badly. I would watch that. I would watch that 10 times more than Total Divas or whatever the hell they're doing.
Saying yes, fuck yes in the chat room, by the way. Papa Lunchbox, what did you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that. How did I learn this? I watched Raw, all of it except for the last segment. I watched it with Lady Lunchbox while being on Twitter. I remember more about Dolph Ziggler's tweets than I do about Raw. I learned that Dolph Ziggler is more entertaining than Raw.
It's a new way to watch TV.
It's a plug-in drug.
Awesome.
That's what I learned.
Brand Stroud, what did you learn from wrestling this week?
I learned that when John Cena has a hurt ankle, he's still a better wrestler than all 3 members of the Shield at the same time.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so does that mean they're not undefeated anymore?
They could pull some bullshit. It was a no contest thing. Yeah. Or they could say, oh, they were just DQ'd, so they've never been pinned.
They've been disqualified before for stuff like that.
But never as a team.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. But it wasn't a team because it was an elimination match, so it wasn't really a team match.
Totally a team, though.
Elimination team match.
You shouldn't loophole it.
So awesome.
Wrestling is loopholes, guys. That's the only thing that keeps us alive. Okay.
Wrestling is loopholes.
That's my new promotion that I'm going to be running in Texas with Mike Quackenbush. Wrestling is loopholes.
Yes. Bring in Jervis Cottonbelly. It'll be amazing. I need a Jervis Cottonbelly.
Okay.
All right. And I learned from hold on, just checking chat. Oh, Riz learned that plugging the app on air is stupid. What the hell? He's plugging the app apparently in the chat room.
It's not stupid. It's a new way to watch television.
It's a new way to watch the podcast. Bobby learned something that's a giant paragraph.
He learned that 3 of a kind is not a measurement for chicken, it's a measurement for poker. Also, when will WWE... That's a reference to the Popeyes commercial.
Yes.
Also, when will WWE... There we go. Also, when will WWE learn that you have to change the outcome of a match every once in a while and not have Randy fucking Orton defeating the same wrestler who is better than him every week?
Yeah, that's something I learned. I don't need to watch the other shows because apparently the same matches happened.
What's funny is that WWE or I guess dirt sheets keep posting those rumors about how everyone in the front office thinks Antonio Cesaro is boring. Guess what? The only time you ever get to see him wrestle is against Randy Orton.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could put fucking Kikutaro in a match with Randy Orton 75 weeks in a row and he would be boring.
Sorry, Kikutaro.
Yeah. So
Kikutaro versus Randy Orton is something I really want to see now, though. Kikutaro just being like, okay, and then walking over to the ropes and like putting his leg up on it because he knows the DDT's coming.
I learned that maybe the Hall of Fame shouldn't be in front of so many wrestling fans. I got the WrestleMania 29 DVD today, and of course I popped it in about a little bit into the Hall of Fame. The little bit of time I had, and I saw the Trish Stratus one. Where she starts talking about her husband, and they start booing. It got bad. I'm surprised I left it in the DVD.
Did you watch the Bob Backlund induction when Maria Menounos gets it?
No, I'm not that far yet. Although it's weird because I just stuck it in, hit play because I have a DVD player without like a remote, so I can only hit the play button and hope that they set the menu up correctly. There's some old indie DVDs I just can only watch one match on that. So, but it was weird because they started it with Jerry Lawler referencing as if Mick Foley was just on stage. So I'm not understanding how they ended it. So, and they definitely left everything in there. Like the Trish Stratus one, kind of went on for a while, So that's nice, and that's completely worth the purchase to me, right off the bat. So yeah. With that, guys, oh noes, it froze up on WrestleFan.
Oh noes.
Oh noes. Let's get it. Not missing much more. So, guys, this has been the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Check us out, WrestlingMayhemShow.com, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blip TV, Roku, and YouTube. Drop us a line at
Good times.
Good times at Wrestling Mayhem Show. No, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing.
LouisianaFast.gmail.com.
No.
Keeping your head above water.
412-206-WMS0. Buy the app WMS Gold on your iOS App Store or Amazon App Store.
Television.
It's a new way to watch podcasts and listen to them and be interrupted and not listen to our advertisers. We don't have it.
I'm sorry.
With that, hey, thanks, Mr. Brandon Stroud at Mr. Brandon Stroud with leather.com, meetmemovie.com. Did I get that right?
No,
MeetMeThereMovie.com.
Meet Me There Movie. I missed the word. .com. Go check out everything in his empire of entertainment goodness. He's pointing at his stuff for the audio people. So
I only get to do that so many times.
Thank you for joining us. It was a blast. You're welcome back anytime, sir.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, Papa Lunchbox, WrestleFan, representing the Texas and the PAs between us. This has been your Wrestling Mayhem Show. See you next week. Mayhem out.
Just wait. Wait for the perfect